we all know why Brie Larson's doing this whole thing of Animal Crossing, so she can get herself in the Metroid movie. And there's also a leak going around that he's also going to be in the Super Mario movie. But yet, Brie Larson continues her campaign for the role of Samus Aran for the potential Metroid movie. Okay, so in fan out as her as a character. Brie Larson continued her campaign to play the intergalactic bounty hunter as Samus Aran in the hypothetical Metroid movie. Over a weekend, staring at envisioning what she would look like in the role, and yet began with Brie Larson's dressing up as Samus for Halloween. Of course, we all know that she really wants to be in Nintendo movies. For example, the adapting video game movies eventually come with the most past attempts being universally panned. With the Mario Bros. Movie not being liked, but again, that's the Mario Bros. Movie. Nintendo's only experiment with film adaptations to the very recent with Mario movie. A Twitter post, there with Brie Larson wearing Samus's trademark blue Zero suit, and Apex will also envision a piece of artwork performing the actress in that role. And yeah, if it's gonna be a real thing, no one's gonna watch the movie. Okay, people will make out that people actually like Brie Larson. YouTube saying, "Oh my God, people love Brie Larson. He has 300,000 subscribers," but people couldn't be less by the fact, okay, that the fact that people don't really care for Brie Larson. Okay, but Kong Skull Island, considered the worst MonsterVerse movie. Guess who was in the movie? Guess who was in the... Actually, it doesn't really matter if he was in the movie because none of the characters were really that interesting at all. We'll get, the next last few movies, okay? Just Mercy. No, not many people really cared about that movie. And Brie Larson, they were everything. Oh my God, but Brie Larson was in that movie. Unicorn Store. Nobody liked that movie, and she directed it, okay? But Captain Marvel, not many people like the character. As you have toys of Captain Marvel that's sitting on shelves. Basically, nobody cares about Captain Marvel, really. Okay, people didn't like her in Endgame, especially. Okay, the only reason why her movie made $1 billion was because people want to know more so about Endgame, not about Captain Marvel. People want to know about what would Captain Marvel's role, how it would tie into Endgame. Okay. Yeah, that's the only reason why people saw Captain Marvel in the first place. They have Nintendo went on the big screen in 2022. Actually, Nintendo made another movie. It was called Protect the Pikachu. But I think they're excluding Pokemon movies because there's like 20 to 30 Pokemon movies out there. And yep, yep. Detective Pikachu came out last year. Yeah, Sonic, that's not a Nintendo movie, but that came out this year. And yep, Nintendo is set to return to the big screen. They already did in 2019 because Nintendo owns Pokemon. I don't know why they're excluding Detective Pikachu from this entire article. They're like acknowledging that the next movie was the only experiment with film adaptations was Mario Bros. Even though Nintendo owns Pokemon and Detective Pikachu, okay, Nintendo, like, they're acknowledging that Nintendo. Okay, now let's just go to Detective Pikachu. Because, yeah, Detective Pikachu came out that is based off a Nintendo... I know Nintendo didn't make Pokemon, okay? But Nintendo owns the property. I don't know why they're ignoring that this movie even existed, okay? Yeah, this Detective Pikachu was one of the best-selling movies of the year and making a sequel to it. Yep, it was in development. It was with the Pokemon Company, which is... I think is owned by Nintendo. Nintendo owns 42% of Pokemon. And the rest is owned by Game Freak and Creatures Inc., which also work with Nintendo. Okay, yeah, Nintendo owns 42% of Pokemon. Game Freak owns Game Freak, but again, they mostly work with Nintendo. Okay, that's Nintendo publishes all of the Pokemon games, so basically Nintendo owns Pokemon. Okay, because Nintendo's never gonna let Pokemon be on the PlayStation. Okay, but we have Nintendo Australia. Nintendo basically owns Pokemon as a whole. 32% now as a whole. They own 32% of Pokemon. There, but yep, Pokemon is considered a Nintendo franchise by most people. And people like, oh, Nintendo does not. Nintendo does not own Pokemon. They own 32% of Pokemon company, the whole company. Okay, and yeah, people were saying, why are you saying Pokemon's for Nintendo's big fleet? Because Nintendo practically owns Game, okay. Pokemon and copyright acknowledged are usually free Nintendo. Game Freak increases Inc. Are the three companies that all have ownership of Pokemon-related trademarks in Japan, and yep, they have also have essentially they own basically, oh yeah, they own Pokemon. Nintendo, yeah, then Pokemon is a Nintendo franchise, so they're excluding Pokemon Detective Pikachu for some odd reason. Which is a movie based off a game exclusively for the 3DS, which is published and basically owned by Nintendo. So, yeah, Pokemon Company is owned by Nintendo. Game Freak increases Inc., which both other companies do work very much in Nintendo. They're not owned by Nintendo, but it's kind of like a Pixar relationship, kind of like how Disney and Pixar used to work together, but Disney didn't really own Pixar. But yeah, that's basically it. Goodbye.